I'm taking advantage of an opportunity to go for a little nighttime stroll in Bangkok. It's been a long time since I've got to feel the atmosphere at night. You know, where I live now, as some of you may know, is super peaceful. With the family, it's great. Me, I'm addicted to chaos. I like being part of the atmosphere, you know? I like being in the middle of things. So I do miss it sometimes. I'm getting dripped on. That's the sort of thing I don't miss about Bangkok, just walking down the road and feeling water splash onto me when it hasn't rained all day. Really enjoy this side of Bangkok. Wong Wian Yai. It's 2 stations after Sapan Taksin, which is where you get off if you want to get on the riverboats. It's very quiet compared to Sukhumvit. Now, the first time I ever went to Bangkok, I stayed near Khao San, like absolutely fucking every white guy in the history of the world. And we had a great time. I only went over to Sukhumvit twice during that entire 2-3 week stay. First time was that we went to Siam. A man who'd been to Thailand before said, "Oh, you should see the shopping malls in Thailand, they're spectacular." Yeah, and they're nice. As we all well know, they are nice. And the second time we went to Nana Plaza. Curious, a bunch of young single lads. We've heard this place was some sort of fantasy land. I didn't like it. We were just going out of curiosity, mind you. We weren't dabbling. Thing about me is, if I dabble, I become an addict. That's what happened when I first went to the gym. Started to see my abs pop. When we moved to Bangkok about 5 years ago, originally, me and my wife, we were doing our research on where the best, most convenient places to live are. And all anyone talks about is Sukhumvit. They don't talk about any areas like this. In fact, Sukhumvit itself seems to be this scale, depending on how much money you're willing to spend on your accommodation. So you've got people in places like Asok, Krompong, etc., who want to pay a little bit more. They want to be right in the middle. I'm more of a Onnut, Prakanong, Bangchak guy myself. And as you go further and further out, obviously life becomes a little less convenient. Things aren't as on your doorstep as they are in more central areas, but it also becomes much more affordable, which is what appeals to me at this stage of life. I don't need to be bang in the middle of all this shit. I mean, look at where I am now. I'm always banging into people just going on this nighttime walk. It's a little bit crazy how many people are out and about, and I don't mean like out on a Saturday night party, you know what I mean? Families, kids, walking around, people working. It's non-stop. It's non-stop. I've just helped a lady across the road with 2 kids in a trolley. She didn't even look at me. She might have been a bit intimidated, to be fair. It was a dark street. People out and about makes you wonder what everyone's up to. Me, I'm just walking around, chatting away into this unusual shaped camera with 2 lenses either side, so I can do cool shit like this. Oh, User's Choice Award 2023 and 2024, congratulations. Oh, it does look like a User's Choice, this. It's like they're promoting Pride Month as well, good for them. Areas like this have got absolutely everything, and I think if I were to come back to Bangkok one day, this is where I would choose to base myself rather than Sukhumvit. I just don't need to be as suffocated as it can feel sometimes in Sukhumvit. A few condos behind. we're gonna see one through this gap here. There you go. Through the gap there. It's quite a few condos. The occupancy rate of these condos seems to be much higher than most areas I've seen. I'm basing that 100% on how many lights are on. Oh, that's very interesting. Guessing that this is a much more local vibe. But I've seen some foreigners around here. Can't go far in Thailand without seeing a nice white guy. Down the road before. So this really big white guy on a scooter. Always looks like big kids riding a bicycle sometimes. You know those big kids who've outgrown the bicycle but they're still on it? That's what it looks like sometimes, seeing the white guys on scooters. God bless them. But those cool ones who ride motorbikes. However, after today's little excursion, I think the chances of a permanent relocation back to Bangkok are a little bit smaller than they were this morning, because there's pros and cons of living in the big city. The pros, there's just lots more things to do. Like where we live is lovely to go to a park and watch a sunset. It's good for my baby to play in a really peaceful environment. It's good for my wife to take her out. You know, my wife couldn't walk around here with a 3-year-old kid on her own, could she? So those are the benefits. In Bangkok, the benefits are going to places like museums, parks, temples, a lot more Asiatique went today. I don't even know what you would call that. Entertainment complex. There are a lot more options in Bangkok than there are outside the city. That goes without saying. That's the same as any capital city in the world. But what I didn't really record today was the excessive amount of time we spent in traffic between those places. And you're probably thinking, oh, get public transport. There's a reason I'm wearing sunglasses at night, guys. It's because I'm fucking exhausted enough as it is. Fighting the public transport with a 3-year-old who seems to take huge offense at the moment at the thought of being held by her father, screaming at Asiatique before, Dad, Mommy, help me, help me. What are you getting so upset for, you little rascal? You just told me to carry you. She's all over the place, God bless her. But the thought of battling off not only the crowds of people, but trying to keep her safe as well, keep her from getting trampled on, from getting crushed, etc. Very unappealing. There's a reason we bought a car. These eyes are fucking tired. It's also interesting to see how many little developments like this there are. Look how nice that looks. And it's in the middle of an area which I'm not saying is not nice, but it's got a lot of old buildings here still standing. And I guess that's what's going to happen more and more in Thailand, or Bangkok especially now, is that when places like Sukhumvit basically become full and every last old building has been knocked down, redeveloped, etc., the wider city is going to start to get its makeover, and you're going to see more and more little luxury projects in the middle of the more humble areas. Oh, I just found a little nice Klong side path here. Look at that. In conclusion, guys, any of you who've followed my story before, any of you who've been here before, you know I've moved around a little bit. You know that life has not unfolded organically for myself. It's been a lot of situations, a lot of crossroads where I've had to make choices. Sometimes I've made the wrong choices, no doubt about it. That's why I've moved around so much. It's not to sound cool. It's not like, oh, I've moved to so many different places. I've lived in something like 6 different condos in Thailand in 5 years. And I went back to Japan for a year during all of that. So yeah, it's not to sound cool. It's not to have a good story. It's because when you're completely alone in terms of me, my wife, my baby, and you're desperately trying to figure out where the best spot is, sometimes you make mistakes. And for me, I'm one of them people where it's like, instead of forcing myself to live somewhere for a year to get a deposit back at the end of it, etc. Don't get me wrong, I don't enjoy losing deposits, but instead of forcing something for a year when we know it's probably not the place we're supposed to be, I'd rather bite the bullet and get us to the place we're supposed to be. And it does feel, despite thinking sometimes, should we come back to Bangkok, would there be better options in Bangkok for us? Especially at this age, 3. Well, she's 3. When she's a little bit older, or maybe when she's a teenager, we're gonna have to reassess that. When she's 3, I think the peaceful life is king or queen. She is the queen. Actually, she's the princess. My wife is the queen, and I am nothing but a pauper. So thank you for watching today's vlog. Thought I'd end it with a little bit of a insight for those of you who like listening to me ramble. I'll see you in the next one, geezers. Bye bye.